Would I be the arsehole if I didn't want to use my wife's suggestion for our baby name, given its importance to her? My wife and I can't decide on the name for our baby. Since the start of pregnancy she had a name in mind and it means a lot to her in terms of the name meaning and its associations. We've not really discussed the baby name seriously during pregnancy due to focus on other life priorities during that time, and I haven't put forward any name suggestions until after the baby was born. So we've narrowed it down to two names, Upupe meaning river in our language and Veja Veyer, pronounced similarly to Freya. Up is the name that my wife wants and I'm not strictly against it but I'm not really excited about it. Veja meaning wind is the one that I proposed and my wife likes it but not as much as her option and it doesn't have the association with water which is important to her. We live in the UK and we're also a bit concerned about crude associations name calling if we used name Veja Vahaj, etc. but not sure how substantiated this is. Any opinions from native speakers appreciated. I'd feel bad if my wife couldn't use her name, especially since it means that much for her, but at the same time that name doesn't excite me at all, although with time I would probably get used to it. I really like my suggestion and the wife quite likes it too but not sure if she won't eventually regret not picking her option due to its meaning to her. I should add that we only want to use one name, no middle names or double barreling. Would I be the arsehole if we named our child using my suggestion, given the importance of my wife's option to her and the time she had that name in her head? From the UK, while we all know people should take time to learn and pronounce names, and this is a common microaggression, both names will be roundly mispronounced and misunderstood here. Veja, Veja or Veya would be how many Brits would read that one, and Uppy or Oop would be the attempt at the other. If you plan to bring these children up in the UK, it may be worth considering that when choosing from the wealth of glorious names your culture offers. Source: child of an immigrant who anglicized his name to better fit in, except everyone here still couldn't say it right. Sigh. Info: so if you get your choice now, does she choose for the hypothetical second child? Also pretty sure Up is going to become some variant of Oops in school, but kids make fun of almost all unusual names. Veja is also the name of a trainer brand currently popular in the UK, just something else to think about. As a UK-born person, if you want to raise your kids in the UK, please consider how it sounds. First name, last name, initials. I got married and went from JCW May. No worries to JCB, and even as an adult I got comments. Please think about it. With ethnic names you really have to take into account the country you reside in and how that name can be warped and used to torment a child. Frankly, both names are minefields when it comes to bullying and teasing. Up is Oops, Oompa Loompa, Hopper Greek and so on, Veja, JJ, Vieja old lady in Spanish, and so on. If you want an ethnic name, try for one that can't be twisted to torment your child, because I can guarantee that if she suffers because of her name she won't care what it means in your native language or whatever sentimental meaning you guys have for it. Edit: mistranslated a word, embarrassed smiley face. I would highly suggest you don't go with Veja. I'm not a crude person, and my mind immediately went of JJ, which I can guarantee is exactly what every middle school bully is going to call her. I'm sure in another language, it's beautiful, but in an English-speaking country, you're putting a target on her back. Jays. Hi. The I didn't say anything for 9 months argument is a good one against your case. I think your best family-focused option is to go with Up. You will most likely find that you love it in a year or two, and if it turns out to be a burden, then both parents might find themselves revisiting the no middle name stance. Best of luck with your baby girl. I'm not gonna say your TA, but the words you are using to describe things. Your wife wants the name Up, it's important to her, it means that much to her. Veja is the one you proposed. No special meaning or anything further. Up doesn't excite you. You don't seem to hate it. Or even dislike it. You're just not excited about it. somewhere, between two sets of feelings, is compromise. Compromise is hardly 50-50 ever. It's just not 100-0. How far off are you from 50-50 right now on that name? Go to a coffee shop and order something with the names to test out how others pronounce them. WIBTA is a pretty popular sneaker brand at the moment. I believe it's a French company. Not sure if that is where the words comes from. I would not have associated it with female organs. I personally prefer WIBTA of the two names. Partly because it is easier to pronounce. I'm not sure how up should be pronounced even with your indication, and imagine she may have to explain it to people all the time. My partner has this problem and it drives him bonkers. Is there another water-related name you could try? Honestly, does it really matter if the name doesn't excite you? It's a name. It probably shouldn't be exciting. If it means this much to your wife, I'm not really sure why you would be against it, since you don't seem to outright hate it. As I can see, names are Lithuanian. Since you live in the UK, you changed the letter E to E, but it kinda changes the meaning of the name WIBTA. If you're gonna use the name with spelling WIBTA not WIBTA, then it will literally mean grass, not wind. No offense, but both names are not really good. To be honest, I wouldn't go with either. There is honoring your cultural background, then there is setting your child up for endless bullying harassment. Up will likely end with p-poop derivatives WIBTA with the VH, J, etc. Up as an English speaker will be read out loud by a teacher at some point in a class as sounding UP, and then the kid will have problems. As the kid becomes an adult, she will have to explain to every person who reads her name that it is pronounced another way. I fear if you are in an English-speaking country, Up's name would be pronounced by one and all as UP. Not exactly what a small child needs to be confronted with at school. WIBTA may not be so easily used as a taunt. If you want to name your child after a river, why not use river itself? Nah, if you both agree with the choice. From UK here. Kids will find anything to make fun of someone. As someone who was bullied relentlessly because I developed breasts at an early age to the point where I tried to take my own life. For the sake of your child, please don't name her WIBTA. It's a beautiful name, but kids are cruel. To under 100. We haven't discussed the name means you didn't discuss it because she had a name in mind and it has importance to her, while you evaded the discussion. So your name idea is solely based on not being so excited about it. Yeah, suck it up. You can lead her on for months and then insist on your choice. Use middle names. It helps makes your kid unique in government databases and gives them options for alternative names, nicknames if they don't like the one you chose. Nah, but Up has special meaning for her, whereas WIBTA is just some random name you like. I'd go with Up. Kids will pick on pretty much any name, so I wouldn't worry a lot about that, but yeah, WIBTA will be some variation of vagina. If you as an adult can come up with one insult based of a child's name, it's safe to assume each kid can come up with 1,000 insults too if you insist on that name regardless of its pronunciation, since you specified how it's pronounced. Not denigrating your culture, but UP and WIBTA are going to haunt your daughter for life. I'd not even go with them as a middle name, which you don't want anyway. Please try to find other names. So sorry, I know this is not what you want. Hi, I'm a fellow Lithuanian living in the UK. I have a non-standard name even by Lithuanian standards, and every time I need to share my name is torture, to the point I go by a nickname that has F all to do with my real name. Why don't you name her after one of Lithuanian rivers instead? Vilja, Venta. There are plenty of river names you could use that both have the V sound you like in WIBTA but keep the river theme your wife likes. And many of them are way harder for potential bullies to twist than WIBTA or Up. WIBTA, a shoe brand. Do you want to name your child after a popular streetwear shoe? Not the asshole. But I'm from the UK, honestly I wouldn't choose either name. You both don't like either name. So go back, start again, choose something you both like. There are many names, not just these two.